everybody, this is Czar of Cesus. I am checking out this new game that I picked up a couple days ago, Sim Airport, and so far I'm enjoying it. Found myself wrapped into it pretty deeply over the last couple days. It's been kind of enjoyable, little bit of a learning curve. I know it's in its beta stage, but it's been pretty fun. Yesterday I spent all day working on one specific airport after I had some snafus with another. Um, but if you haven't seen the game, or if you have seen the game, you already know what it looks like. Maybe you don't know what it looks like. This is kind of basic. What the developers are kind of suggesting that you start off with. They give you a nice little setup early on. You can basically already have a somewhat functioning airport right at the beginning of the game with a little bit of cash, and um, you can go from there. I've done this a couple times. Tried to start from scratch, and ended up losing all my money and not having any flights or any gates put in, or have any uh, luggage. I mean, it's kind of going to be difficult, but it's been enjoyable. It's definitely been enjoyable. But see, just wanted to take a look at the basic layout, and then go through and show you what I've done. Again, I've only had this for a couple days, so I've been putting a lot of time into it in the last couple of days, probably more than I should have, but I didn't have anything else going on, so not a big deal. So this is it. This is the basic layout. This is your beginning that the developers give you to start off with. Very simple, small little ticketing area, some baggage claim, one little security section, and then a bunch of restrooms. One small, well, large gate, and then a nice little small runway. That's what you start off with. Here's what I did with that. Uh, was okay. Obviously, you can see I was playing until almost 3 in the morning. It was a little late game, but it was good. It was good. I started having a lot of struggles though, with a lot of different things, and it might show up on here. I don't know. I had a lot of passengers that were just getting stuck everywhere. Oh, it doesn't have it. That's just a miracle. So at one point I had this. My whole drop-off area was literally just full of passengers that were just stuck. Couldn't figure out why. Um, just having tons of issues. So this is kind of what I did. I took the original setup, and I changed my preferences for this one. My volume down a little bit. Alright, so I took the original setup and just kind of fooled around with it. Put it in a cafe. Sorry for the zoom there. Had a nice little exit area for baggage claim. Got four functioning gates with a fifth that's going in, hopefully, or was hopefully going to go in. I did this one a little different. I was kind of at a hurry to try and get my extra large gates in, and I found out that it was a little more difficult to get those things functioning than I had thought. I didn't realize, as for anybody who hasn't figured it out yet, when you go to your flight schedule, you can adjust these suckers. I didn't realize that. I had looked at it, put my mouse cursor all over this. I just didn't read all the way through where it says extend boarding time, hover the right edge, and resize. So, instead of it being 2 hours for this flight of a possible 400 passengers, I can stretch that sucker out. So, it's going to be 3 hours. That way, you got plenty of time for boarding and exiting the plane. What I also figured out, though, to be completely fair, again, I haven't been playing this game for very long, so people probably watching this or might be watching this already know this stuff. Um, if you just slow down the time, the game speed. I've got it at 1 times right now. What I'll do, or what I was doing, is having to set it at times 10, and I realized very quickly in my most recent one, the newer one that I started yesterday, is if you just set it at 4 times, everything functions perfectly. You get a little bit of speed, kind of get through the day, get your flights in and out, so you're not sitting here just watching the time slowly tick away, uh, and everything's functions still. You don't have any delays. My flights on my most recent one, I mean, they work perfect. They're leaving 30 to 40 minutes early sometimes from the gates. So um, it's working really well. This one, I'll be honest, I wasn't too happy with. This cafe does not function very well. It was a bad design. My part, really small area to try and cram everything in. So I kind of took some lessons from this one and how it's set up, and kind of methodically went into the airport that I put together yesterday. I was a lot more thoughtful about it. I took in the area and realized, well, I got to try and change the way I set it up from the very beginning. That way, you set yourself up for success further along. Because you can see, I mean, it's just there's people trying to get vending machines, trying to get food. I actually changed this um, from this save point um, to the point to where that's probably why you're not seeing all the people. I realized I didn't save it at that point. I had changed this up, put a ton of cash registers in, added, I think I have 10. I added 40 food workers, and another 30 janitors to try and keep up with. As you can see, all the trash and all the passengers, but it's just wasn't doing it. Wasn't keeping up. Was having a really hard time with it. So I started a new one, and I'm going to show you that one now. I really like this one. This one I think is going to be successful once I have it completed. But this is a basic overview. This is what it looks like right now. I took it, and you can see it looks completely different. I opened up a lot of my areas. The original first gate that you get when you do the assisted setup from the very beginning is right here. I took that out. I used it for a while until I set up my second gate, and then I just deleted it and set up a foundational wall. Um, for the first time on this map, or on this setup airport, I used my planning key, so I knew what I was doing. I knew where I was going. Mentally, it kind of helped. I don't know if other people use it. I actually found it to be very useful. I wasn't thinking I was going to find any use for it. It's like, oh, I know what I'm going to do. I know where I'm going to build. But to be honest, after setting that up, I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense, because I made sure that I would keep areas sectioned off for what I was planning on doing. From the very beginning, I knew that I wanted a large area for security and ticketing, so I had used my magenta here, and I basically sectioned off all of this area, because eventually this little section down here where my seating is either going to become security or ticketing, depending on what my influx is once I start to expand. As you can see, I only have five gates right now, but I'm making. I will get to that in a minute. But it's a decent sized airport, completely different from what I had in the last one. Huge differences in regards to the entrance area. I expanded that. I knew I needed a big area so passengers weren't getting stuck on things. I'm finding that this little corner right here, I keep having one passenger from one flight randomly get stuck there, and it's just glitches in the game. Nothing I can do about it. But I just have to dismiss them. Kind of keep an eye on uh, what my flights are doing. I keep track. That one's 52 minutes ahead of schedule. It's already departing. As I was saying earlier in the video, this airport is functioning really well. 37 minutes early, 55 minutes early. Yeah, Doing great, doing great. Really happy with it. There's a lot of easy passenger flow, and that's the biggest thing that I was kind of figuring out with that last one that I wasn't too successful with is finding that way to get people in and out of the airport in the best way. Now I had actually um, had a smaller exit area. I've expanded little by little. I wish I could have shown you guys or taken screenshots. I never really thought about it. I didn't think I was going to be sharing anything like this with anybody, but I was actually considering, um, or I wasn't considering doing that. So, but to explain, this area wasn't built up. This was blocked off. That's the last thing I did, and along with expanding this, because basically I had a wall here, then a wall up to here, a wall here, and then a wall along here. So passengers coming out of these last three gates would have to come around this corner, or come around this way. It was just one steady line of traffic, and I'll speed it up a little bit to kind of show you guys. We'll take you through a day. This is probably going to be a little bit longer video than I'd like. If people watch, great. If people don't, it's up to you. But yeah, this is my normal airport. Let's take a look at the schedule here actually real quick. Um, I've got flights. Most of my flights coming in are spaced about 15 minutes apart because quite often they'll come in 15 minutes early. I tried my best. As of right now, I only want 5 gates at the moment while I expand my internal size of my airport. I'm not expanding anything outside. I'm building up new areas, what will be new terminals for newer gates. But I tried to, with my 2 runways and 5 gates right now, not have anything um, coming in at the same time. But it's kind of tough when you're trying to set up your schedule. And I just set it up this way for the most part. Just the easiest I found with the flights, the times, the number of passengers usually from most flights. I have very few flights that have less than 100 passengers. Gate 4, Gate A4 is the one that has a lot of small aircraft. 90 passengers there, 50, 19, 90, 75, and that's mainly due to the fact that uh, because I don't have an extra large gate, I can't contract the bigger flights. So uh, I'm kind of stuck with these little guys now. But I just figured I put them on there. But they're quick flights. They're in and out in minutes. It doesn't really take that long for these flights to come in and out, which is why I've kind of shortened them. You can see a few here that I've shortened the departure times with. But for the most part, I have actually pretty good aircraft flow, especially once I hit my afternoon flights. Everything's coming in and going um, here after 2 o'clock, just almost perfectly. I'm tempted to change this one up, but we'll see. I haven't had any issues with it usually because they come in early and that one comes out and they leave early. It's not a big deal. So here's my flow coming in right now. These are my early morning passengers. Um, it seems like they like coming around to this security area. I've set it up so I have one one straight lane for each ID check station, and then I've put a cluster of metal detectors. To me, it seems like this is working just fine. We don't have a lot of people or a lot of the passengers struggling to get in. I'll show you some flights here in a second as they come in, but there's 2 of them coming in at the same time. But anyways, it seems like this functions pretty well, especially when I start hitting the peak of my passengers. I haven't really tested this, because I haven't put any extra large gates in. That's going to go in here eventually. It's probably going to be down in this section. They're going to be my C gates. But usually when I start getting my heavy heavy load of passengers, it's going to be between, I think it's usually coming in the second set of flights around 6, 7, 9. So when a lot of my bigger flights are coming in, just a lot of people going through my airport. Um, right now, 700 plus passengers, mostly satisfied. And actually, that's another thing to note is I had a little snafu um, earlier with this where I lost a couple flights. A couple were canceled on me, but got them back after I got my happiness back up. I had a couple delays. Something glitched out, and I couldn't. I wasn't getting my flights in, so I don't remember exactly what it was, to be honest. But was somehow able to remedy it. Um, and now everything's working just fine. But as you can see with the security and ticket kiosks, I mean, my setup that I have here with my ticketing is completely different than what I had before. I actually decided to cram everything together, and then have them work with one single queue. So when I set up this ticketing area here, I got five of these ticketing kiosks. So as soon as the passengers are coming in here, they're just bam, 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 real quick, just going to ticketing kiosks. As you can see, just like that. You have very little wait time. This has been really successful. And I don't know why I didn't think about it. I was thinking, as I was setting this up, I'm thinking about smaller airports that I've been through and how they have their ticketing area. But then, no matter what, when you think about airports when you've traveled, you always have huge amounts of ticketing kiosks right next to each other. So I was just like, well, why don't I do that? Which is exactly what I did. And I have so little wait time compared to the other airport I had that I just showed you earlier. And then I added all these ticket kiosks, and it works. I'm telling you, people come in, they spread out, they get here, they get their ticket kiosk tickets, they go straight in through security, they come up here, there's almost no wait time for any of the passengers coming in here. And again, I haven't tested this with large scale yet. And then, I have so many security checkpoints, it's so easy for people to get through, as you can see. Here they come, grabbing their tickets, going up to get to the ticket kiosks up here, the ticket desks, and then right through security. Here's my outflux with my passengers landing. My baggage claims works perfectly. Uh, that setup's a little different. I was discussing this through the discussion boards with someone. Didn't realize, what the patches were before, because again, I just started this a couple days ago. But I have all these running together as one. I have my 5 gates working with one baggage depot and 5 trucks, and everything's fluctuating into 3 of the baggage carousels. Um, Apparently, that person needs to go to the bathroom, and they didn't realize that there's all these bathrooms over here. Anyways, so yeah, I mean, it's looking good. Um, been working fantastic. Haven't had any issues with a lot of my flights. You'll get one passenger, as I said, kind of just stuck here. Let me take a look. Yeah, there's a one. This is there, Atlantic International 4915, which I believe is this one. And they're 36 minutes. So that's that one passenger, as you can see. So what I end up doing is just saying, sorry, you're going home. And that sometimes breaks the deadlock. I guess it didn't this time. So then I just break the deadlock. It doesn't hurt anything. It actually doesn't hurt my airline interest. But I'm trying to figure out what I can do with this. I might just put endless doors to avoid this. What is this? SparkJet 6659. That must be a new flight coming in, I believe. Let's see here. Yeah, that's a new flight coming in en route. So, I got rid of that issue. But, anyways, I don't want to keep chattering here and bothering people. I'm gonna gonna end this here in a second. Just wanted to show you guys what this was, and whoever's interested, if you have questions or comments, feel free. If you think I'm an idiot, don't worry, you can comment that as well. um, I was just making a video. This game is actually really interesting. I've never really been into simulators like this before. I love SimCity, but these like the prison architect thing. This is the best example I can think of. That's like this game. Never really had a lot of interest in, and then I saw this in a review. I don't remember who it was, a YouTuber, um, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna check it out." I bought it, and I was hooked to the point to where, I've created office space, lounge area with my own little personal office. you know, just having fun with the game, using my imagination and enjoying it as much as I can. I'll probably make another video, kind of updating what I'm going to plan on doing. This is early stage. This was my A gate. It's kind of what I imagine my A gate planning. I'm wanting to set this up so I have all my A gates together with small runways. I'm going to bump up the size of my airport. I already did. I bought a section here, bought some land. I'm going to purchase some more here soon, and I'm going to start pushing myself that way. Most likely, I'm going to end up putting a food court in here, which is why I went with the hardwood. And the carpet is going to separate what will be my B gates. Some large and extra large gates that will connect with a medium runway that's going to run north and south. It's going to be out here somewhere, probably in this parcel, maybe this parcel here. I haven't quite decided. And then right down in here is going to be where the big puppies are. I'm going to be putting in my extra large gates. That's probably going to be my next step. Putting some extra large gates, bringing a lot more passengers. I want to really just kind of test to see how this is going to work. All my ticketing, my security, my kiosks, to see if it can handle all that traffic. And I may end up having to, change this out and adjust my bathrooms. Maybe put the bathrooms here with food court kind of over in this area. Just mainly because that's a heavy traffic area. It might be better if it's more open, especially if I'm trying to get 300-400 passengers, or up to a couple thousand passengers over in this section at a time. Now, real quick before I end this, there's one thing that I have noticed, and that's with my one of the people with the frame rates. Really, I don't have an issue running the game, not at all. I've had upwards of 800, 900 passengers on this airport set up at one time. But what I have noticed is when I'm putting foundation down, like in a new section through here, I start to see little lags. I don't know if anybody else has noticed that. I don't know if that's just because my system sucks. I don't have the best system. But that's the only time I have seen any issues. The game is so simple. It's really not that that difficult to run. But it looks good. Got a lot of stuff I'm working on. I'll update. If people are interested or they like the video, I'll probably do another update. Show you where I've gone from there. I might even start a new airport again. Try and test some different things out. I'm not much into betas. I've never really been into a lot of development stuff. But this game seems fun and it's enjoyable, and I've been, just addicted to it. Can't pull away pull myself away from it for the last couple days. So, I'd like to test things out and maybe add some ideas to help developers. If anybody's playing this and is really enjoying it, I would almost suggest doing the same thing. Just test some things out, try different things, see how stuff works, and it's going to end up helping developers make a better game for everybody in the end. Hey, these passengers, they just, I'm gonna have to fix that. definitely gonna have to fix that. Yeah, it's. Anyways, appreciate everybody watching, um, and I'm sure there'll be more to come. Have a good one.